Welcome racers, this is Badgerman and today we're going to take a look at the GT World Series Manufacturers Cup. It used to be called the Manufacturers Series, but they've changed the name for some reason. I don't know why, don't ask me. But it is the Manufacturers Cup now. And as you can see in the top, the car I chose, now it's gone. You may have missed that. But it will come back in just a moment. The car I actually chose, the manufacturer I chose, is the Ford GT Race Car for Group 3 and the Ford Mustang for Group 4. And as you may have seen in the title, I do regret that choice now. Why? We'll get into that in just a second. Well, I say a second, it's really more of in about 10 minutes. But this is Deep Forest Raceway. It's going to be 5 laps. Tires and fuel are absolutely no concern whatsoever. Easily lost the whole race distance and then about 5 or 6 more. And let's actually jump into qualifying because it was quite eventful for me. This qualifying session, it goes black and then it comes back and we're in the pits. And you may notice something in the tire choices on the left. I thought, can I exit? Is that okay? No, you know what? I'll just drive a lap, go back into the pits. And I was intent on doing that until this happened. I drive out of the pits normally, you know, everything's fine. I slightly clip the pit exit line. 3-second time penalty for just barely clipping it. I thought, really? Okay, I'm gonna try this now. Thankfully, it let me just get back to the pits like that. I decided to first switch on softs, then hards. I wonder what would have happened if I had gone for softs here. If that would have been legal, if that would have been, if I would have been able to go to the track, if I do. Anyway, we drive out on the hards. That's the intended tire. And this is our fastest lap. We are finishing this one. That was not our fastest lap. We're about to start our best lap of qualifying. We end with a 28.2 here, but this one's about to be better. So, heading into turn 1, a little bit late on the brakes, but we get the car turned around just nicely. It missed the apex by a couple of meters, maybe a meter or two. Into the S's, thankfully that car pulled out of the way. And we are then heading into the right-hander. Car ghosted there. It's all kicking off. I was a bit worried there that we were going to lose any time. We didn't really. We lost 0.03 of a second in the whole sector, so that was mostly down to my driving. Now the downhill left-hander coming up. Tricky corner. Easy to spin the car. And I almost lose it here on exit. Thankfully catch the car. We get onto the back straight, the long back straight, longest straight on the track, and we get a little bit of slipstream from the Spaniard in front, and that's really helpful. Second sector split, we're up by 0.02 of a second. It's really not much, is it? But we get the slipstream, and that helps. I actually go onto the brakes a little bit early just to make sure I make the corner. And out of the corner, once again, we get a huge slipstream from H. Flynn in front of us. And I try to stay in the slipstream the whole time, and I do. And this is where the Ford GT really shines. It's got massive top speed. Closer and closer and closer and closer, and we end on a 1 minute 27.8, and we end in P6 ultimately, and no one else improved. So at this point, it was going to be P6. I will gladly take that, to be honest. The other cars looked pretty good, and I thought to myself, you know what, this still wasn't the best time I could have done. There was still potential in that time, so I was thinking, I was looking at the gaps ahead, and I thought, you know what, P3 might be possible. We could be on for a podium here. I saw everyone finished, okay. And yeah, let's actually move on to the race. 5 laps. Hard tires, fuel doesn't matter. You barely burn like 3% throughout the whole race. It's ridiculous. Yeah, let's get started. So this is the grid. We're only gonna go through the first 6 positions because, I mean, let's be honest here. Behind me doesn't matter, does it? No, I'm a bit joking, but you know, just so you see the first 6. I love the animation, and it's already quicker than it used to be in the past, but it still takes such a long time. But there's P5, the Finn, Nibbles, and then P6 myself, and let's actually get underway. This is such a beautiful car. A bit tricky to drive, but really fun. But I still regret the choice. Let's actually get started here. Horrible launch, really, out of sort of second gear. Really bad. You see the gaps already. I lost 2/10 of the car in front and the car behind. Really, really bad. Trying to go for a late apex here into turn 1, or out of turn 1 rather. And yeah, look at the gap we already have. I'm trying to catch up with the Finn and the Spaniard in front. It wasn't the best of starts for me. This car is not a good one to start on. But that's not the issue I have with it. Again, it is a decently controllable car. It is a good looking car. You get the Mustang Group 4, which is just fantastic. But still, I don't quite like this. But let's actually focus on this again. We are almost a second behind the Finn. And he's getting slipstream off the Spaniard ahead. I don't nearly get as much slipstream. In fact, I give more slipstream to my fellow German, Jan, behind me. So that's not helpful. And we're gonna head into the hairpin here, braking zone, heavy braking zone. Get the apex quite nicely. A little bit hesitant on the exit there, but we're fine, mostly. And we get to the next straight, or acceleration zone. I think as an acceleration zone, this one's even longer, but as a straight, it's shorter. But we're gonna reach 275, just about. And the Finn tries the move on the Spaniard, goes too deep. Spaniard comes back with the old switcheroo, as Crofty would say. And now they're fully battling, and that's good for me, because that means I can easily get a potential P4 out of this if I just play my cards right. And I mess up with the sleeping policeman there with the sausage curbs on the inside. And that unsettles the car mightily. But we're still on them. We're still on the Honda NSX of the Spaniard, and can't even tell from behind what car that is the Finn is driving. But we're still there. We're still there, and that's good. Took a little bit too much of the apex there into that corner, and now down the back straight we go. Not much has happened so far. It's already almost 2 full laps in. We're on the back straight, so there's not much more time left in the lap. Spaniard's gonna go for the move. Nope, decides against it. We are late on the brakes, but still make the apex easily. So behind me, it's all kicking off with Fabinator and Jan. I think Fabinator pushed his way through, and we're really close. And I was thinking, you know what, we can do this as long as I get the slipstream from Nibbles, and I do. And then I had to pull out of it because he was lagging a little bit, and he moves over to the left, and I thought, okay, well, the Ford GT is gonna power me through. I'm on the outside. Look at the radar. The Spaniard makes it 3 wide. I get a little tap there. We're side by side now. I'm holding it around the outside. And the Spaniard is still there. It gives me a slight tap, then realizes yeah, it's probably better to give up the position there. And we're in P5. Finn in front, Nibbles. Love that name, honestly. Better name than I have. Gotta be honest here. Nibbles. Just rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? And we got the Spaniard in P6, lap 3. I get a little bit of a twitch there. And heading into this corner, bonk, I get a massive tap from the Spaniard in front, who then shamelessly... No, actually, no, he doesn't take the position. Fabinator does. He actually leaves me the position, which I think was a... You know, he messed up. Okay, he was a bit late on the brakes. But... he didn't take the position. In fact, he lost the position just like I did. So, all fair. No penalty for him needed. And I think about going for the move here. Decide not to. Decide to try to get him on the apex. And that was a horrible exit right there. Against the Bentley of Fabinator. P4 has meanwhile driven away the Finn with all those shenanigans on the back straight. He's gone. Very unlucky, but we can still battle over P5, and look at this run. This Ford GT is mental on the straights. I brake into turn 1, easily hook up the apex. Fabinator was very conservative on the brakes there. I was very surprised. In fact, he lost another position behind me to Pacona, to the Spaniard, who bumped me earlier. So, yeah, very, very surprising how early he went on the brakes. I don't know if that's just the Bentley, if that's just, you know, the weight of the Bentley, because it is quite a heavy boy, or why he was so conservative on the brakes there, because he could have braked like 10 meters later and it would have been absolutely fine. I almost lose the car entirely there. And again, look at the radar. Pacona this time just sends it up the inside. I thought, what the hell is going on here? But then I thought, you know what? This might be good. So we can play the slipstream game. I thought, you know what? Give him a bump draft. Boop. He's a bit laggy, but, you know. He was later in the lobby chat. He was complaining about lag. I thought, yeah, I mean, you're the one who's laggy here. And I completely missed my break point. Completely missed my break marker. I took the curb on the right side instead of the Gran Turismo banner overhead, and that really ruined my braking into the corner there. But we're still battling with Fabinator, and I knew he was weak on the brakes into turn 1, so I thought, you know what, we can do this again. He leaves open the inside for whatever reason. Should have gone more defensive. And we, once again, easily make the corner. We slide into turn 1 like we're sliding into those DMs. I'm sorry. And now we're trying to hunt after Pacona again. I'm not sure we can get him. He's good, but if he doesn't have anyone to battle with, I think he's too good. So it's going to be difficult for us to close in on him. We do get a blue first sector, then we slightly touch the grass on the apex there, and he is really driving away at this point. We need a mistake from him or a massive slipstream and bump draft. We're not going to get a bump draft at this stage of the race. He was so strong here, this corner. He really went for a late braking, and I prioritized the exit more than I did the entry, which generally serves me well, but it seems like he found a better balance overall. 7/10 quicker than my previous best, but it was just not going to be enough, was it? We head into the braking zone. We get really close here, really up close and personal. He was, again, very conservative on the brakes. I decided to run a little bit wide there. Thankfully, did not get a penalty for it. 6/10 now. We're trying to get the slip. P1, P2, P3 have finished. P4 has now finished as well, and we are not close enough. It's going to be a P5 for Pacona and P6 for us in the end. I'll take it, though. I'll take a P6. That's not the issue I have. The issue I have with this car isn't really that. It's not even an issue with the car, per se. It's more so an issue that I have with how many people chose this car, because my goal is to get the S rating, right? Which the top 200 in the region get in both Nations Cup and manufacturers, and in the Nations Cup it's the top 10 from each country, which I as a German can already forget about because there's so many good German drivers. But in the manufacturers, it's the top 10 on each manufacturer that get the S rating. And I thought maybe not many people are going to choose Ford because the GT race car, as we're typing a little bit, GG, the top 3, the top 10, sorry, in the Ford, maybe that's going to be beatable. Well, we get 165 points, and that's good. You know, I'm not complaining about that. 165 is a really good result, but as you will see, now 165 points doesn't amount to much. It's 422nd in the region. And unfortunately, because so many people chose Ford, it's 27th on the manufacturer. And I am a whopping 82 points behind the top 10. Which is literally half of my points that I'm behind. So I need to find a way to make different choices to get a different manufacturer later on in other seasons. Obviously, for this one, I can't change it, but man, it's tricky. It's tricky. I should have gone with a different manufacturer, but here we are. To be fair, 27th on Ford is still not bad, considering the competition, I think that's pretty fine. But yeah, that's why I regret choosing that car. I wish I would have gone for a less competitive manufacturer. I think I still could have gotten a decent result with it. But here we are. We're stuck with Ford now. Next race is going to be at Mount Panorama in the Group 4 Mustang for me. And I will obviously post a video on this as well as the Nations Cup and much more Gran Turismo 7. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And until next time, goodbye.